Good morning, all you beautiful people out there. It's Donna coming at you with a coconut bread recipe that I made this morning. and wanted to also show you what I'm making on the stove top. So I have these Brussels sprouts roasting. I roast my vegetables, including Brussels sprouts, on the stove top rather than in the oven, because when you put them in the oven, if you want that roasted effect, you have to really spread them out. So you can't cook that many at once, because if they're too close together, they start steaming and they don't get that roasted, you don't get the roasted effect. But I find I can do that on the stove top just by putting the heat up high. I use coconut oil and Himalayan salt, and that's it actually in my Brussels sprouts. And I put it on the stove top and I roast it. And then once it's nice and like golden brown and it's still kind of hard, the Brussels sprouts, because they take a while to cook, I will put a little bit of water to create some steam at that point to get them kind of nice and cooked all the way through. So I have the Brussels sprouts going, and then I just made this coconut bread this morning. And I wanted to tell you how I make this. So this is very low carb coconut bread, very high fiber. It has protein in it. It has eggs in it. And if you're on any kind of keto or low carb diet, this is the perfect bread alternative, and very nutritious as well. And I love to make this, and I'm going to tell you how to make it. So it's got high fiber, it's got protein, it's got coconut in it, and no grains at all. That's what I wanted to say. There's no grain in there at all. So the way you make it is with 4 cups of shredded coconut meat. Now, if you buy shredded coconut in the grocery store, in a regular store, it's going to most likely have sugar in it. They don't really sell unsweetened coconut in a regular store, so I buy it at the health food store. I get it bulk. It's very inexpensive, and it's unsweetened. So 4 cups of that, and then 3/4 cups, 3/4 of a cup of ground flaxseed. So here's my trick on flaxseed. Flaxseed goes rancid very quickly, so you have to be careful. I never buy it ground, and I only buy the whole seed, and I never buy it just off the shelf. I always get it in the refrigerated section, which in the health food store, that's how they sell it. But if you buy it in a regular grocery store, it comes off the shelf, and it's questionable how fresh that flaxseed is. So buy it whole, buy it refrigerated if you can, and then grind it as you're ready to use it. So I grind it in my coffee grinder. And if I have extra, I'll keep it in the fridge till I'm ready to use it again. I put it on my yogurt in the morning. I do coconut yogurt or cashew yogurt with berries and different kinds of seeds, and I put my ground flaxseed on that in the morning. Plus I use it in this recipe. And by the way, you should store your whole flaxseed in the fridge or the freezer as well. I just don't leave it out at all. All right, so you have 3/4 cups, 3/4 of a cup of ground flaxseed, 1 tablespoon of xanthan. Xanthan gum kind of looks like baking powder. It's just white powder. I'm not even sure, honestly, what that's used for, but that's what the recipe calls for. I get that bulk as well at the health food store. I don't even know if they sell it at a regular store, honestly. And then it calls for a teaspoon of erythritol, which is just a sugar alcohol. That's optional. You don't have to do that. It kind of helps a little with the flavor, but I think it's fine without. Or you could just use another sweetener or sugar, but I prefer not to use any sugar. And if you want to keep it low carb, don't use the sugar. Then it's 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I use Himalayan salt or sea salt always in my kitchen. I never use table salt. Table salt is highly processed and full of chemicals. I would not use table salt ever. I don't even use it in the restaurants hardly, because all those salts usually are regular table salt. Half a cup of water and 2 tablespoons of cider vinegar. I use the raw, unfiltered, or unprocessed, I think it's cider vinegar. And 4 eggs, and that's it. That's all that's in there, and it comes out like beautiful bread. I slice them, I toast the bread. I actually slice it all up and then put it in a Ziploc, keep it in the freezer, and then I eat it as I use it, because there's no preservatives in here, so it will go bad a lot quicker than most breads. So I keep it frozen, and I just take a piece out when I'm ready to have some. I put it in the toaster or the toaster oven, and then I put butter on mine. Yummy. Love it. So there you go. Keto-friendly, low-carb coconut bread. Any questions? How do you get iodine if I'm not eating table salt? Very good question. I actually am using a really high-quality iodine. Let me grab it. That my friend turned me on to. It's called Energy Biodyne, and we often are lacking or short of iodine in our bodies. And so the way that you test for it is you put 1 drop like on the inside of your arm like that, and let it dry, and then basically if it is gone, it takes about 14 hours for your body to absorb it if you're not iodine deficient. But if this spot, and I'm going to do a test because I need to do one, so if that spot disappears in a few hours, or even like 8 to 10 hours, that means I'm deficient in iodine. And so I've been taking 3 drops of this in water a day, but then I stopped because now I'm going to retest. Kind of have to just know by testing what your body needs, but really important to get iodine. I should do a talk about that because I don't know all the facts, but my friend has told me a lot about it, and it's really important that we have enough iodine. I wouldn't even trust the iodine really in table salt or in most supplements because it's probably highly processed and just not that great of quality. Okay, hi Marcy, hi Gabriel. Marcy says that xanthan gum is a thickener. It binds ingredients together. Awesome, thank you for that. I think the eggs do that too. And Gabriel asked, what is the difference between flax and chia? Well, they're just 2 different kinds of seeds, and I'm sure different nutrients in each. I don't know off the top of my head, but they're all good. In my coconut or cashew yogurt that I have in the morning, I put berries, which I just use frozen berries, and I keep a jar in the fridge of the frozen berries so they defrost, by the next morning. And I'll just put some of those over my yogurt, stir it up. I actually put a little bit of avocado oil in it to get some extra fat, and I use the full fat yogurt, never low fat or anything like that. And then I put in some collagen protein powder, which is really good for the skin. And I use the bulletproof collagen protein powder because I know it's a high quality one. And then I put flaxseed, freshly ground, or if I pull it out of the fridge, if I had ground it a couple days before, it's fine. I put chia seed on there. I put hemp seed, and then my sprouted walnuts, my soaked and dried walnuts, which I've done lives about before. Really good for you. All right. Yes, Marcy. Always love recipes that fit your lifestyle. You should make this coconut bread because I know you do low carb also, no grains. So it's a really good recipe. I will post the exact ingredients as well on this live when I'm done. And then just keep it in the fridge, slice it up. I mean, keep it in the freezer in a Ziploc, and then you just always have a piece to throw in the toaster. Iodine is found in fish. Okay, so good to eat fish. I did a live about my salmon that I cook just a couple weeks ago. So look at Simply Living Wellness if you want to find my past lives. I also have them on my Simply Living Wellness YouTube channel. Here's my iodine spot. So I'm going to check this in about 6 hours, and just kind of all day long, and notice when it disappears. Then I know how much more iodine I need in my body. Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me this beautiful morning. It is gorgeous here, not too hot, not too cold. Beautiful sunshine, blue sky. Can't wait to get outside. Have a blessed day, everyone. Mwah.